What's up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is Wednesday, the 18th of January 2017. How are you doing? I put a video out earlier today uh, because it was needed to be put out. But, but as always, there's always something else that is comes up to the surface, and a lot of times I kind of try to catch myself, and then I think about it. I'm like, I know that somebody's gonna find this video and it's going to hit them at the right moment when they're about to make a decision. And that decision is going to be their validation of why their environment is the way it is. So I try to be as clear because I know the value of your time. So this video right here is not going to take up your time. I'm just going to give you truth with no chasing. I'm not even going to put the disclaimer out because of the fact that we're all adults. Right off the bat, if you are under the age of 35 years old, you might not realize that there is a campaign going on to dumbing you down. Did you hear what I said? There is a campaign going on to dumb you down. Because, see, I got to reach somebody at the lowest level because the fact that I don't want you to be like so many of us. See, I'm a Generation Xer. I'm in my 40s. And I wish someone would have said, hey, bro, that ain't what you need. Hey, young man, where you going? Hey, brother, this is what you need. But as you noticed through the decades, as they come and go, we don't even stop to say hello anymore. There was a time where your neighborhood, the lady up the street or the lady across the way was in the blind, and you would say, well, you know, she just being nosy. But really, she was showing love. She wanted to make sure that you were able to wake up another day without being in harm's way. But look at where we are now. 2017, they don't care if it's broad daylight. They're snatching kids. In 2017, we don't see the value of that living blood. You know, your blood. Without that, you don't exist. We've gotten so conditioned and indoctrinized that just somebody else's problem, somebody else's story, someone else's burden. But yet the tears still flow in the nighttime. The accountability is not chosen because it's more convenient to deflect. Who am I talking to? How can you actually envision destiny coming to pass if you don't know you? Let me repeat myself because I know a lot of people say, well, all you do is preach. Did I say I was a preacher? Did you see a shawl over me? I said I have strong discernment. I know God's presence. And I know yours. But see, as long as you keep living under man's doctrine, because man wants to be God. Yes, he does. That's why anything done with man's hands, it will be temporary. It's not made forever. nor is your happiness. Why? Because you were made perfect. But I can't show you what you feel because that is connected to your spirit. Why is it in 2017 we still don't see the value of our life, but we cling to it? You do understand that you didn't have to wake up this morning, right? Mm-hmm. And you can acknowledge that you didn't have to wake up this morning. You can also acknowledge that you didn't have to claim that burden you got too. Who am I talking to? I had someone tell me, you can't grow something that's dead, Gerald. You're right. But it's my responsibility to acknowledge its state. Why won't you look at your heart? It's not dead. Without it, you couldn't hear me. But you're feeling me right now. So let's look at your associations. You have those die-hard associations. Oh man, we grew up together. You're still growing until you take your last breath. But the living constant is this: though the age comes and goes, the viewpoint is still the same. Why are you so loyal to them? Why? What did they do to earn the right to hear you breathe? Because they make you feel a certain kind of way? What about the things that they do not do? Why is it that when you should turn your head, you're constantly glued to that last disappointment? Who am I talking to? But yet I get it. I get it. Because society has convinced you to fit in a little box. And if you don't fit in that box, your voice doesn't matter. But those people that choose to fit in that box also realize your voice don't matter either, because you don't control that box. There has been a campaign as long as there have been media to defile anything that represents you. They tell you you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not worth the investment. You're not worth the time. So who cares? They do, because they benefit off your insecurities. That's why they keep coming around. Who am I talking to? You know, the moment that you decide to ground your feet, you'll stop playing with your life. You'll actually see that your life is about checks and balances, because until you understand the value of what you bring into your life, can you understand what you need to be protected from? But then again, to do that, you have to understand that the devil's real, y'all. Demons exist. How is it in 2017 we are so disconnected to ourselves, not only as a culture, but as a community? I can tell you why. It's because it's fear. And fear is perpetuated by lack of knowledge. The greatest education that you'll ever come to have is your life. So if you do not see the word for that, how can you expect them to? I want to let you marinate on that. One day, this is for the ladies. Queen, who put that stopwatch in front of your life, told you to take off running? Who put the stopwatch in front of your life? Said that if you don't experience it now, you're going to miss the boat. You're going to miss the opportunity. You're going to miss the chance. Who told you that? Because if you're able to be honest with yourself, it's the same people that set it up so that you would. I'll explain. You do understand a blessing has no timeline. So if it's divinely meant, guess what? You will have it. But before you can have it, you got to see the worth in it before you can claim it. So before you can claim it, you got to speak it. That means you must embrace it in your heart. But see, look at our world. We living in Sodom and Gomorrah and don't even realize it. We play with our health and we're surprised that our mortality is cut short. So let's go to the people in the cheap seats. You know the people in the cheap seats. These people are supposed to be your friends, right? How can you have friendship if there's no love? Because love is unconditional. It doesn't die. It transforms. And it is ever so present because of the fact that it is a representation from God. But they got you feeling a certain kind of way because you want to protect you, because you want to speak your truth. What is your truth? How can you speak your truth if you don't know you? Because she can't tell you what your truth is. He can't give you your truth is. This is something that is revealed through time. That means you got to ground your feet. You have to acknowledge what is ever so present. If you're not happy, how can you turn around and scream for change if you will not acknowledge the problem? Think about that. But see, we have this mindset of live quick, die quicker. But you know what's funny? And I say this figuratively. You don't see no protests for these funeral parlors out there. You don't see them out there protesting, do you? No. Why? You're making the money hand over fist. We don't think about that. Yeah. We talk about, oh, I just want my neighborhood to feel safe again. But yet, the requirement for it to be safe, that means you have to be truthful. But on the same breath, they say, stop snitching until it's one of your family members. Don't you realize the devil's a liar? The devil will always give you what you want, but not what you need. And the trade-off is your life. You remember when Janet did That's the Way Love's That's the Way Love Goes? Moth to the flame, burned by the fire. Can you see my love? Can you see my desire? What do you think that flame was? Your life. What do you think the moth was? You wanted access to it. What was the price? Death. But your friends, those who are closest to you, why aren't they taking the time to be the example? Because we are what we attract. Huh? Friendship isn't about convenience. It's not built off an agenda, because that is nothing but a platform for denial. But that's okay though, because everybody wants to be like Mike, but nobody wants to be like them. Why? Because it's about the system. It's about your perception. And without your perceptions, you can't have your beliefs. And your beliefs are the undertow of your motivation. But guess what? If God ain't in front of it, you won't see your direction. And if you don't see your direction, you won't understand why you exist. You don't actually think that you're here on this planet just to eat, take up space, and reproduce, do you? Why don't the next time that you go to that bathroom where you lay your head, turn around Yeah, turn around. Because when you turn around, you'll see your name on your back that you are carrying for your elders. How about your ancestors? You think them blood, sweat, and tears that your ancestors went through for your existence, because you are the living manifestation of their hopes and dreams. It didn't say go bust it open. I'm pretty sure it said reach for the stars. But I get it, because what is a man to inherit the earth by way of losing his soul? But he can't lose his soul if he don't know who he is. And this is nothing but an offshoot of men not being men. Oh yes, King, but you're not guilty. You're not fully to blame. Mm-mm. That Jezebel spirit been working since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. Sure has. That's right. You didn't think because the way you walk and the way you swing, that's all that's needed. You bat your eyes and spit game. The only game that's going on is the game that distracts you from your life. You saying, Gerald, I don't understand how I got here, man, but you're beating me up and I don't like that. Well, guess what? You can't claim something unless you look at it. And even if you look at it, it takes courage for you to acknowledge its presence. So let's go back. I'm really concerned about the millennials. I am. Because the truth of the matter is, my generation has not prepared you. And our generation, our elders have not prepared us. And that's what history is all about. Don't let somebody fool you and say history never repeats itself. If that's the case, why is it that we are still going through the same motion that we've been going through since the beginning of time? The one evident lesson is this: until you decide to put God first, you gotta bear with me. These soup coolers get in the way, and plus I got this beard, and anyway. Until you decide to put God first in anything, it won't come to pass. It's like watching a football game, and you watching your home team go down the field, and you waiting for them to score, only to get picked off time and time again, to get blindsided by that sack. Aren't you tired of getting knocked down? Are you tired of being beat on? That's for somebody. You tired of them bruises? You tired of them bumps? Oh yeah. There's a lot of y'all that will not admit what you see. And here's the sad thing about that, y'all. Did you realize that there are people who look just like you and does not look like you, that wake up every morning to affect people like you? Because they have embraced the mindset of this: well, my life sucks, my life is ruined, so I'm going to go on out there and try to tear up as many people I can. And every now and then it makes it in the media. Every now and then. You know why? They do that because they are being condescending. You remember this, y'all. There is no money in cures. There's only money in sustainments. We are in the most technological age on this planet, but yet we still have the common cold. We have diseases. And let's talk about some diseases, right? And millennials, listen up. Because you don't hear people talking about HIV, don't think it just went away. Because you don't hear people talking about having abortions, don't think they don't exist. Because if you ground your feet, better yet, do the research. Because I know some of y'all like to throw stats out there. But keep in mind who's putting the stats out there. You think they don't put that out there to sway your judgment? Because truth of the matter is this. There are people on this planet that don't want you here. And it doesn't matter what your gender is. It don't matter what your culture is about. They don't care. They don't want you here. Look up the word eugenics. And depending on how deep you want to go all the way back to Adolf Hitler. And when you look, you'll see that Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood, liked his ideology too. And I'm going to tell you someone who also did. Miss Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I know there's a lot of y'all to say, well, you know what? She was of the people. No, she wasn't. She was about herself. And y'all gonna come to see that really we didn't have a choice in this administration. But we do have a responsibility of navigating through it. Who am I talking to? But here's the funny thing about it, not to lose focus, because I don't want to take up all your time. You want to see how strong your opinion is? Ask yourself this. Why is it no matter how high you raise your voice, the conditions don't change? Huh? It's because you don't own it. What you own is your life and what you do with it. But see, that's too real for people. That's too morbid for people because I see your value. Am I wrong for that? Nope. Because I'm telling you something that your friends won't tell you. Why? Because they like to see you broken. They like to see you hopping around. Oh, he was a loser, but I'm going to get with him. They love that because they know that just around the corner is your setback. You know why? Because they're sitting at that long-ass table called misery. Who am I talking to? But yet, I know there's somebody, and you're entitled to your opinion, that will disagree. But guess what, Queen? I'm one of the good ones. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't waste my time. Because guess what? Chief Jay Strongbow, he want to rob you of it. He want to tear it up. He want to leave you with an emotional scar so deep that it sets your life back. Somebody like, you talking about you. Nobody's exempt from free will. No one. You'll come to understand this. Your most impressionable years for your education was the first 5. Reading, writing, arithmetic, comprehension are the building blocks for your adulthood. But then again, they know that too, because they know that a lot of the masses don't even read. This is not a dig. This is love. This is what separates the have from the have-nots. I'll do one better. We're putting so much focus on things that won't matter next year, won't matter next 6 months, 6 weeks. But on the flip side, they making money off of your time and you can't even see it. Don't believe me? Watch this. The same fellas, kings, while you were sitting over there complaining about why she went and spent $1,500 on a pair of shoes, it's no different why you spent $180 on them tennis shoes. But here's a commonality between the two. Your name ain't on them. And both of them probably cost $45 to make. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. But even Keith Sweat said it best, make it last forever. Who am I talking to? You think you're supposed to wake up like Groundhog Day, going through emotional and physical hijacking? You think that's your life? You actually convince yourself you ain't worth nothing? Well, guess what? If that was the case, why are you awake? Why'd you get up this morning? Because there was something you were required to do. But you won't understand that if you stay medicated. You won't understand that if you're not grounded. But those people in the cheap seats are saying, yep, keep on going. And that's why they come and go. Nobody can do anything to you you won't allow. So you got a right to feel a little agitated right now. You do. Because what's at stake is your happiness. What's at stake is your peace of mind. What's at stake is your dreams. Can't put a price on that. But see, why are you too busy worried about why he preaching at me? Because I'm trying to reach your heart. You can't find your heart between your legs, queen. You can't find peace of mind because of what it looks like, king. That's why they make pharmaceuticals to take you away. But you'll come along and learn this. Every time that you beam it up, part of you goes with it. But when you come down, what you was afraid of, what you had not mastered, has taken more, has gotten more legs under it. They've gotten stronger. Why you think you got all these older people bitter, mad at the world? Because the truth is, one day they walked into that bathroom, they saw that mirror, and they didn't like what they saw. And it wasn't the physical sense, it was the epiphany that came from the fact that they willfully gave time away that should have been sacred. Why are you sitting over there worrying about why he ain't call you? This is for somebody. You sitting over there looking at your watch and wondering why he did not call you. He's not your husband. Well, but that's my man. If he was your man, why is your name the same? Somebody's like, I don't know. You like them bad boys, right? Bad boy will never be your forever. They're only there to distract you from the one. Yeah, Gerald, I know. That's why I don't fool with her now. Yeah, but you got a child by her. You do understand that God will take two broken people to make a blessing? But as long as you don't ground your feet, you're not giving that blessing what it needs. But we're quick put labels on things we do not know. And I'll explain. Why is it we are still using the term deadbeat? Why? Because we didn't coin it. We embraced it. But here's the ironic part. You realize how many people wake up every morning that wish they could be in their child's life? You realize how many people wake up that wish they could hear the sound that they make? You realize how people wake up this morning and just wish they could smell the scent, the fragrance of their presence? Because your body does give off certain scents. You do know that, right? Mm-hmm. For my parents, you know what I'm talking about. You remember what your little ones smelled like when they were little? They had that you were smelling their spirit. I'm not, see, somebody said they're boo-boo. No, no. But what you were really seeing was time. And that's why you will never be able to master time, just like your communication skills. That is something that is required your existence. You can't turn around and say, well, because this situation, I'm going to use this result for this problem or challenge. Because there's no such thing as a problem. There's a challenge, and what you choose to do with it will set up what you're going to embrace. Who am I talking to? So for my millennials, my mouth is not working, y'all, but my heart is. If you're under the age of 35 years old, heed the word of a brother. Don't rush your life. Invest in it. And anytime something comes from your heart that brings a smile, don't let it go. I'm talking about you, not the people that want to have access to your life. And matter of fact, while I'm on this, let me throw this out for somebody. Right off the bat, number one. Because you're looking, you're giving your time, that's payment enough. But because you're listening, that means I'm on point. Unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with challenges for that person you're going to become. And I'll explain. I always echo this. You cannot get back yesterday. The person you were yesterday is not who you are. The commonality between the person you were yesterday and who you are is the insight. But the person that you're destined to become is praying that the decisions you make today are good decisions. So don't rush your life. What is a dream that is not fulfilled? I'll tell you what it is. It's a disappointment. You know what most disappointments do? They stick with you. They haunt you. Why? Because they're being held hostage by your fears. What are you running from? Because what you need to run to is you. But as long as you do not, guess what? They'll keep making the distractions. They'll keep promoting the things you don't need, hoping that you will fall in the pitfalls called denial. If they really wanted you to be the best you can be, Why are they spending so much in bombarding you with all types of listen to the music. Listen to the music. Just listen to the music. If they really saw your value, why would they put it out? Why? Because the devil knows as long as you are a slave to the rhythm, you're a slave. And he got agents. You got agents. You don't believe me? Look at them. Look at the people that have been out. I don't care how far you go back. In the moment that that flicker of that spotlight starts to dim, you look at them again, they look like somebody sucked the life out of them. Why? Yeah, you play with the soul, you pay the price. So lastly, this is for the intended heart and intended mind. You're not alone. Your dreams can come to pass the moment you decide to invest in. I highly recommend you. Some of y'all don't even have the courage to do this. You know this thing right here? When's the last time you went in your contacts? Because if your contacts don't represent who you are, like your growth, they're the same people that are holding you back from your dreams. I'm just saying. Now, before I pull the plug on this, I would love your support. If you are not a subscriber, please be a part of the family. If you have any questions and concerns, drop me a line. If you're feeling me, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. But just out of common decency, if you ain't feeling me, still drop me a line. It's about knowledge, right? Each one teach one. And as long as you've got air in your lungs, you still got room to grow and learn something new. This is a big planet, y'all. So as they always say, ground your feet, reach for the stars. That's cool. But just make sure that little boy and that little girl that's in that mirror that you see every day, they're the reason for the struggle and the validation that comes with your name. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your work. And for that, it helps me discern mine. I never said I was a preacher, but I do know how to speak to your heart. The question is, will you listen? Be blessed.